Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today, and it's cold out there every day. This is the Groundhog Day pod, and I've got my friend, this is Dave. Welcome into the movie pick. Got my friend Beaver here with me. Beaver.
How we doing?
So this movie came out February 12th, 1993. How old were you then?
I was about to turn 14.
Nice. So this is where I was close to 10. I was about to hit the double digits, but not quite at it. So I wonder why, like, the first thing I thought when I saw this, the February 12th, 1993, what day is Groundhog Day?
The second.
Why would they release the movie 10 days after Groundhog Day?
Was it competing with another movie?
I don't know. I didn't go back and look, and normally that's the stuff that I would go back and look at. But even at that, like, why would you not? Every Christmas movie comes out pre-Christmas. Every Thanksgiving movie comes out pre-Thanksgiving. And poor Groundhog Day. There's only one Groundhog Day movie that I know of, and it didn't even get a pre-Groundhog Day release.
So I'm going to say something, and I don't know that it's true, but
Sure.
I do know that they had to go back and reshoot some stuff because the director did not like that Phil Connors didn't have a backstory. So the whole beginning of the movie, we see him as a weatherman, wasn't on the movie at all.
Yeah.
And they went back and shot that and added in. I don't know if it put them behind schedule. Maybe
It may have. Yeah. But still a week. I mean, you think like 2 weeks, it probably should. That was just an odd choice to me. You released it the right month. You just couldn't shoot 2 weeks earlier.
Right.
Like I just thought that was weird. So the budget for this movie, $15 million, made $105 at the box office. So it crushed it. I mean, it did really well. And this was back when comedies could do really well before they went straight to Netflix. So we've done the Jurassic Park podcast, which came out in 93. So I already covered the top 5 overall for 93 in the box office. But because I'm not lazy and I always want to keep things interesting, I did the top 5 comedies for 93, which is a really good list. Listen to these. I actually know at least one of these movies you really love. I know that already. So number 5 was Cool Runnings.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was. It was a good one. And it was close to, unfortunately, it was close to the end of John Candy's movie run and his life. But number 4 was Dave.
Dave. What a great movie.
I know if we ever do the Dave podcast, that one's yours. Like, you called that one.
It's definitely that movie that I see that it's on. I have to watch it.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. Number 3 was this. So Groundhog Day was the number 3 comedy for that year. And it was the number 12 movie overall. So since we're talking about that, I did want to cover like where it landed overall. Number 2 was, and this movie's gotten referenced so many times, Mrs. Doubtfire was number 2. And then number 1, I don't know if this is a true number 1 for comedy, because it would fall into the rom-com, but rom-com is romantic comedy. Sleepless in Seattle.
Yes.
Would have been. So, I mean, that's a good top 5 of comedies. Cool Runnings. I would watch any of these movies. Cool Runnings, Dave, Groundhog Day, Mrs. Doubtfire, Sleepless in Seattle.
Yep. That's
stellar. So what are your, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, fun fact, Groundhog Day was not supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah, no, it was actually, and we're going to get to that. It was actually supposed to be really dark.
Yes.
Like the first versions of this movie. And you can see, I mean, and we'll get to this. Sorry, I can get ahead of myself here. So what are your first memories of Groundhog Day? Or do you have like a distinct memory of the first time you saw it or heard about it?
So oddly enough, my whole life I have been told that my dad looks a lot like Bill Murray.
He does.
And he does, yeah. And
I've never.
You've never made that connection.
Yeah.
Well, so.
Yeah, he really does.
The scene where he's standing out there and it's snowing and he's predicted that it's not snowing and he's like, I am the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great scene too when he's really cold.
My dad has had that moment while we were hunting where he said it was not going to rain and it's pouring down rain and he's like, I am the outdoorsman. So
that's great.
Every time I see that, that's what makes me think of it.
That's great. I remember the first thing I think of this movie is I remember it's one of those movies I rented as a kid and watched while sitting in the living room floor. Like, that there's, I call them living room floor movies because they're ones that I saw as a kid. My mom probably rented it for me from Blockbuster on the way home one day. I watched it, loved it instantly. Like, it's one of those movies. I do think it's kind of a love-hate movie. Not everybody I talk to loves this movie.
My wife doesn't.
And that's what I was going to get to. I think it's a lot. So I've always said Seinfeld was not built for women for some reason, and I don't know why. Because every woman that I talk to, and I say, "Oh, I love Seinfeld," they're like, it's okay, And I think it's Bill Murray, and I think it's Jerry Seinfeld.
Also, think you have to go back and realize that in 1993 we didn't have like very many painful comedies.
Right.
Not like The Office or that.
The cringy.
The cringy. That kind of painful comedy. And so that I'm sure there's more than that, but as a kid thinking about that, that's one of the first painful comedies.
Yeah.
Which I'm here for.
It's definitely a dramedy. Definitely
Yeah.
More than what you think of when you first think of the poster and him trapped in the clock and, all that stuff. Like, it looks like a silly comedy.
Right.
And it does get silly at times. But it's a very, very much a dramatic comedy, this movie is.
That's right.
And one of my favorite memories of this movie, though, is my niece was born on Groundhog Day. And so every time I think of the movie, I think of my niece. So that's always been fun. I even got her a groundhog one year for her birthday, which is fun. Not a real one, like a stuffed one. Now, what about, I've never talked about this on the podcast. What about your first memories of Bill Murray?
Ooh.
Didn't see that one coming.
I did not see that coming. So probably Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It was probably Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you what year that came out.
Right.
I
I think 80 or 81.
So that's about right then, because I was probably 3 or 4 when I first remember, because that was like one of those movies when I'd go, my aunt had a video store, and so she would have these movies, and we'd go stay with them in the summertime with their kids, and it was on the playlist.
Yeah.
And that I can say, and he was such an animated character in that movie, so that I can probably say for sure it would be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And especially like we've talked, that's where the few years difference makes a big difference. Like you being 4 years older than me makes a big difference as far as your first memory of Bill Murray. Because mine is Ghostbusters, all the way. Like I loved Ghostbusters. I was only a year old when the first one came out, but I did go see the second one in theaters. So I was like 5 or 6 seeing that one in theaters. And so like Ghostbusters was my first time ever seeing Bill Murray and introduced to like what you're talking about, that very kind of dark, sarcastic humor,
right.
And loved it. And I think Bill Murray is one of those guys. You either love his style of comedy or you really hate his style of comedy.
Well, and I honestly don't think that Bill Murray has to try that hard either. I think he's just that guy. I think he's just the sarcastic, witty, trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, I have this later, so we may double tread over this, but I think that in this movie, I don't even know that he's acting that much.
We can talk more about that.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis actually said...
The director. Harold Ramis, the director.
He actually said he had... Well, I know we're going to talk more about the other candidates for the movie.
We're about to get to director, so go ahead. Yeah.
So They had some other, and I know Dave's going to talk about all the other ones it was going to be. And Michael Keaton was on that list, which is one of my all-time favorite actors, and I think he would have done good. But when Harold Ramis read the script, he had to talk to the man who wrote the story. Mm-hmm. His name's Danny. I can't remember.
Danny Rubin.
Yeah. And he convinced him to change some stuff in the story. And one of the things he changed was the ending of the movie. We'll talk about that later, but he said, this movie is way too dark.
Yeah.
It's way too dark.
Yeah. Harold Ramis told Danny that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, so let's make it a comedy. Let's lighten it up. And then he realized he overcorrected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said, I need a character who you can see the transformation of being so sinister of a guy into a guy who becomes a good person. And he said, once that became clear, that's who he needed. It was Bill Murray and nobody else.
Well, and it's even at the end, it's hard to see Bill Murray as a good guy, like just because of all the other, it's not just this movie, it's like Scrooge, it's Kingpin. I mean, it's all these other movies where he's just been nothing but a jerk. But anyway, so Harold Ramis unfortunately passed away 2014. He directed Caddyshack.
Yes.
He directed Vacation. He directed Groundhog Day. He directed Multiplicity, which is like one of those forgotten about awesome movies.
Time favorite.
Great. And you talk about Michael Keaton. Great Michael Keaton performance. He plays 4 different versions of himself in that movie. And yeah,
4 dumber versions of
yes. Well, the only one of them was the copy of the copy. But Analyze This and That, the De Niro Crystal movies. He wrote, listen to this, he wrote or was a writer on Animal House, Meatballs, Caddyshack, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Back to School, Armed and Dangerous, Ghostbusters 2, obviously, Groundhog Day, and then the Analyze movies. So, like, when I think of the 80s, I always, off the top of my head, I always think you just hand the 80s to Spielberg and John Hughes. I really do. Like, you just say, you guys dominated it. This is your decade. This belongs to you. And I think that's still the case. But I think Harold Ramis belongs in the discussion.
And I would even add that Harold Ramis did something that the other two didn't do.
Yeah.
He added himself into cameos and parts of those movies.
Well, he had some big parts. Like, I mean, in Stripes, he was a major character in Stripes.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. He was one of the main, he was one of the 3 main Ghostbusters from the beginning. Yeah. And then they bring in Ernie Hudson. But
he had a small part in Groundhog Day. He was the doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I used to think like this was their decade, talking about Steven Spielberg and John Hughes. And I still think that's the case. I'm not going to go against myself. There was a reason why Jurassic Park and Ferris Bueller were the first 2 movies that we put out there.
But who else would you put in third place?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not worth. He's earned the right to be in the discussion for that 3rd spot. I still think the other guys are 1 and 2. But then I think you have to and that's a deep discussion, like where you start going into like the James Camerons. What did he do in the 80s? What did Scorsese do in the 80s? What did, like a lot of these guys?
Sure.
Mel Brooks had some good ones in the 80s.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what I mean. Like it's not just definitive.
Zemeckis.
It is Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah. Now you say that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So I can't just say this is yours, your 3rd, but I think he would be on the board as far as, people you could argue for. But Bill Murray, going to the cast now. So Bill Murray is Phil Connors. Again, we've already talked about him a little bit. One of the all-time superstars of comedy. Like he's way up there. He's in the echelon. I don't think, now I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but I don't think we get Ryan Reynolds without Bill Murray. Because Ryan Reynolds is just the better looking version of Bill Murray. He does the same thing.
Fair point.
Yeah, he does the same thing. And he took Chevy Chase's spot on Saturday Night Live. Talking about Bill Murray. He got his start at Second City in Chicago, and
where a lot of them did.
A lot. So I listed out just a few of like some of the greatest hits of Second City. So you had like John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler. I mean, who else was on here? Chris Farley. I mean, those are all people that came through. And that was like, when I looked it up, Mike Myers, that was like a smidge of the list that came through Second City.
Was Phil Hartman on that list?
Yes, he was.
I thought so.
Yeah, you could almost name.
Which I think he should be like at the top of that list.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it's everybody's fluid list. And I was just trying to, Tim Meadows was on the list. I mean, again, we could go all day and just talk about that list. Like we could talk for 20 minutes about that list. But when he started Meatballs, going back to Bill Murray, Meatballs and Caddyshack, your first memory of him, that's what started his comedy legend. Like he was on Saturday Night Live from Second City and then was in those movies. And then that's what really pushed him to that echelon of, okay, now I'm getting the good parts. And then Ghostbusters was like, I'm going from all-star to superstar.
Blockbuster, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He won the Mark Twain Prize. Did you see this? For American humor.
I did see that, yes.
And so I thought, like, when I first heard of that prize, I thought it was something that been around for like 60 years. It just started in like 98.
Right.
And the list is, we're not going to go through that list because I don't want to be just a listing out podcast, but the list on that.
I do know Dave Chappelle's on that list.
I think so.
He definitely is.
I know, I'm pretty sure Tina Fey's on it again, but yeah, you should look at that list because it's a short list. So when you start talking about superstars of comedy, most of them that are on there are like these superstars of comedy. He's done a ton of Wes Anderson movies. Bill Murray has. Like he's been in probably 7 or 8, maybe even 9 Wes Anderson movies, another director. And like I talked about, in this movie, it feels like he's not acting. Like if you go Scrooged, his role in Scrooged, his role in Ghostbusters, his role in Kingpin, his role in Groundhog Day, they feel like the same guy with a different name.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Even to the point of that is his only direction, and him and Harold Ramis, we know that they had that falling out.
Sure. That lasted until Harold Ramis passed. Like he saw him shortly before he passed away, unfortunately. Yeah.
The only direction that he would ask from him is, do you want good feel or bad feel?
Right.
That was it.
Right. So now we've got Andy McDowell. What ought you note about as Rita? Andy McDowell.
Rita.
Yeah.
So as far as in the movie itself, or
No, just Andy, her in general. So I knew her from this. I mean, this was probably my first, movie I saw her in. She was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Again, she teamed back up with Harold Ramis for Multiplicity. She was really good in Multiplicity.
That's what I was gonna.
Was it? Yeah. And she's now like on a Hallmark series. I saw her on the Tonight Show maybe a couple months ago.
She steered into the rom-com thing pretty hard.
She did. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
The funny thing with her is she was not the first choice.
Well, who was the first choice?
So
I didn't see this.
Tori Amos.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
But they didn't want somebody because Bill Murray's character was so sinister and edgy. They needed somebody much softer to balance that out.
And I did see where Harold Ramis asked her, because she's, I think, from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he told her, no, use your full Southern accent.
Yes.
Like he wanted her to be just like all of us Southern people are, as sweet as could be,
yep.
To be even sweeter. And even like the scene in the van where she's doing like the little gopher face and all that stuff. I mean, she is coming across very, very just sweet and naive. And,
naive is what they
yeah,
wanted. Yes.
Yeah. And that was very much what she was pulling off. Yeah.
And what I was reading is if there had been no Bill Murray, they would have not been Andy McDowell.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And that happens a lot, not just, sometimes it happens because of chemistry. Like, oh, this person works well with this one, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know that they have the, I don't know if I'd call this a spoiler alert. I don't know that I feel like Phil and Rita have the best chemistry at the end of it every time, even though, and we'll get to all this, I'm still always like, Rita, you could have done better.
I always felt like that, he was closer in age to be her uncle or even a dad than actual,
I think that's just Bill Murray's hairline that does that to you. And, if somebody hasn't ever seen me, I have no hair, so I can say that.
I do feel like he's probably 10 or 15 years older than her.
He possibly could be.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he possibly could be. So Chris Elliott as the camera guy. Larry, the camera guy.
Prima donna.
Yes, he's so funny. He's good in this. He's one of those guys that is good in everything that he shows up in. He shows up and he has these little small parts, and it's always.
I also feel like he doesn't try very hard either. That he is.
I don't think he has to.
Just that guy.
Yeah, I think he's super funny. I would not recommend watching this movie, but if you look up his Scary Movie 2 scenes with the hand, and I mean, like he yes. He dominates every scene that he's in with the mashed potatoes and the hand and everything. I mean, it's so good. He's just a hilarious guy. And then Stephen Tobolowsky.
Yes.
As Needle Nose Ned.
Ned.
Yes. One of those faces you just know. He's got a voice you just know, has a face you just know. He was in the Goldbergs.
Yes.
As the principal. Again, kind of like Chris Elliott. Like I would put him and Chris Elliott in that same lane. Where Chris Elliott he's been in more stuff. I've seen Chris Elliott in more stuff. But this Steven guy, he is Ned. He's been in a ton of things. And every time he shows up, he's funny.
He is funny.
Never disappoints.
Right. And you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like I've seen him probably even some more serious roles or serious movies than than if you weighed them against the comedy movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I haven't seen them, so I don't know everything. Brian Doyle Murray.
Yes, Big Brother.
Big brother to Bill Murray. He played the mayor in this one. And he did, I don't know if you, what would your guess be on how many movies that he did with Bill? One of them I've never seen.
My favorite role is him in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because he's one of those like, oh yeah, characters. Like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, as soon as you tell me, I'm going to know. But
he's done 5. They've done 5 together. He was in Ghostbusters 2. He was in Groundhog Day, obviously. Scrooged, a movie called Razor's Edge. That's the one I have not seen.
Okay.
And Caddyshack. So he was in all 5 of those.
Caddyshack,
yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Michael Shannon.
Yes.
Very first movie appearance.
Yes.
I mean, 20 years later, he's going to be playing General Zod and taking down Superman.
That's right.
But this was his very first movie appearance as, I think his name was Fred.
Yeah, he was the young man with the young girl who was getting married that had cold feet.
Yes.
Yes.
But Phil fixed it, and they still got married.
That's right.
Yeah. In the last version. Then the last guy that I was going to mention before we get to some of the facts about the movie, Ken Hudson Campbell. He's the guy that he calls Pork Chop, asks, when do you think the first day of spring will be? And you recognized him from a couple of other things.
Yes. He's in Armageddon as Max.
Yeah.
He's great in that. And he's also the Santa Claus character in Home Alone, which is a classic.
Doesn't he give him a Tic Tac in Home Alone or something like that?
That sounds
like he didn't have any candy canes, so he gave him some Tic Tacs. Yeah.
Right.
like you just lost
the
Santa Claus award.
And the thing I love about the doorman character is you see the evolution of Bill Murray's character through him as it goes through. And to the point of, he kisses him on the lips one time and hugs him. And it's great because he is one of those utility man actors. He's in a lot of movies and a lot of things, but he is, I think his acting, which as little as it was in that movie, came through real clear in the movie of the transformation of the characters throughout the movie.
Well, and he was really natural too, and he was almost like a Rita type character. Mm-hmm. He's just making small talk. He's just but his small talk felt like genuine, like he really was just like wanting to talk to this guy and connect to this guy in a human way.
Very unassuming.
Yeah. Same thing as I'm blanking on her name when he goes downstairs. That's the first guy he sees. And then he goes downstairs and asks about the espresso.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you don't even know how to spell espresso. And so but she's the same way. I mean, like all these people are just salt of the earth, sweetest people that you could ever be around.
Kind of like NPCs a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, and that means non-playable characters for you non-video game people. So yes, I mean, they're all very sweet people, and that's why he's stuck here. He's the red dot in the blue circle. The one that's standing out and the one that's not being respectful to like everybody else is having a good time.
Right. That's right.
And he's the one that's like with Pork Chop being mean to it.
Yes.
Because we wouldn't call him Pork Chop if he hadn't made up that name.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie really gets across in the beginning, that Phil Connor's ego was bigger than the town.
Yeah.
Couldn't even hold it.
Yeah. So let's start there. We're going to talk about Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Because that's where the movie starts. It's right in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And you know this. Most people that would listen to this would not know this though. One of my biggest goals in life is to visit every single baseball stadium and take my son to visit every single baseball stadium. And so I've been to 11. He's been to 10. The one that I've been to without him is Boston. And that was because it was on a work trip. I would not have gone without him on purpose, especially to Boston. Like that'd be ruthless just to leave him out of it. But so we went to Pittsburgh last year. One of the best stadiums I've ever been to. I mean, out of the 11, we were talking about the Harold Ramis cracking the top 3. It would probably be like number 3 on the list if I was ranking my stadium. I'm not going to do that right now, but it was so good. The view was awesome. Like we sat behind home plate. The food was awesome. We ate Primanti Brothers. Highly recommend Pittsburgh as a baseball destination. But now he goes to, I don't even know how to say this, Punxsutawney.
Punxsutawney, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. The population, did you look this up?
I did not.
So the population was around 5,700. That's a small town.
Very small.
Yeah. And they really do like a big Groundhog Day celebration. Like they're known for this. They're known for Punxsutawney Phil. Like as a kid, I always thought this was just made up for the movie. You know, like, oh, I never even gave it two thoughts. But this is a real celebration. This is a real thing that these people do. And now they don't do it in the middle of town.
Okay.
They actually do it a little bit outside of town.
But it's probably one of their biggest revenue things that they do.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And this movie's made it even bigger, even though, like we talked about, they did not film this movie
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they filmed it in, I think it was what, you said Illinois?
Yes, Woodstock, Illinois.
Woodstock, Illinois. Because there's the scene when, the scene that you see over and over. Phil? When Ned runs up and sees Phil for the first time.
Yeah, if you look in the background in green and gold, you see the sign that says Woodstock Jewelers.
Yeah.
And they left that in the movie because, that could just be the family name.
Right.
Not necessarily the town name.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And not to sound like a broken record, because I know I've said this on other ones, but one of the things that I love about doing this is I never noticed that. I never noticed the Woodstock Jewelers. And so like when you sat down and we were talking about this, there were so many different things that you brought that you were like, oh, hey, did you see this? I'm like, no, I didn't see that. So that's one of the things I love about doing this.
Well, and it's also the benefit of seeing a movie 1,000 times.
Yes, it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
So we kind of alluded to this a little bit because you were talking about how Harold Ramis wanted it to be lighthearted. The original writer, Danny Rubin, envisioned it darker.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know if you knew this, and you probably did, but I didn't know this. He intended for the movie to start where Phil is already in the time loop.
Yes.
Like the opening scenes, and that's the writer, not the director. So Danny Rubin wrote it to where he would be in the time loop from the very beginning. Like we jump in with him in the time loop.
Well, as I was saying earlier, they literally filmed it that way and then realized, we need to give Phil a backstory to humanize him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing that was interesting to me about that, I'm so glad they did it the way they did it. I think we needed that. I understand. I've always wanted there to be I understand new ways of making movies. I've always thought it'd be really cool. Like even as a kid, I thought this. I remember going to see The Nutty Professor, and he's big and then he takes the potion that makes him skinny. And I always thought it'd be so cool if you didn't know that was going to be Eddie Murphy, and then all of a sudden on screen you see Eddie Murphy.
Right.
I love different ways. I hate spoilers. I love new ways of making movies. So this would have been a new way to make a movie, to just start it right in the time loop. But I'm still glad they took the traditional route. Show me that he's a jerk. Show me the setup. Show me Rita as being very sweet. Show me him being mean to Larry. Show me him, talking to the other people that he works with like they're not as good as him. I needed all that.
Yeah. And also, if you really think about it, because they wanted to make it a rom-com, a light movie, it don't fit to do that. That's still like the dark aspects of, and as funny as the movie is and as great as it, there's still a lot of dark stuff in this movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, he commits suicide quite a few times.
I didn't count how many times, but
I didn't either because I didn't want to do a count.
I read somewhere that was over 30 times.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, and I don't know if you've thought about this, but it never talks about how he got in the time loop.
No. No.
And we don't know who did it or how it happened, but the one thing we do know is every morning he wakes up to the song, "I Got You, Babe."
So you couldn't. So that's actually my next note is "I've got you, babe." So yesterday, just as like a little experiment, I listened to "I've Got You, Babe" like 30 times as I was driving around, just to let that song keep going over and over and over and over again. And it was so weird because they said one of the reasons they chose it was because it was like a song that has no beginning and no end.
And it's so repetitive.
Yes. And it's true. And the reason I can tell you that is I would look down so many times and think I was about to hit play again because I was listening to it on Apple Music. I thought I was going to hit play again, and the song wasn't over. And I was like, oh my goodness, this still has like a minute left. And so, but I kept listening to it. Now, I'll say this: it actually didn't bother me. I mean, it's not a song I'm going to jam to. You know, it's not like it didn't hit one of my favorites all of a sudden. But I could see why they picked. It's an uplifting song, but it's also kind of a frustrating song, and like you said, it's very repetitive.
So one of the funny things about that song too, and you may have this in your notes, but Sonny and Cher caught a good bit of shade over this.
Over this movie?
Yeah, over their song in that movie.
That's funny.
But,
no, I didn't know this.
Well, it's kind of like a backwards compliment. So a lot of people were reaching out to them going, that was a great song you wrote for this movie. That song had been out for 28 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so,
and Cher's in the interview, I watched it last night. She was talking about it and she was like, I just go with it. It's okay. It revived our name, made us relevant.
And it is generational. Yes. Like different generations discover things later. And so a lot of people probably discovered that later on.
Right.
But yeah, that is funny. That's funny. So the first thing I would change if I'm Phil. Okay. So once I realize like day 2 is happening, you know, like I'm going through day 2, everybody's saying the same things. I would definitely not forget to jump over that water puddle.
Didn't take him long to figure it out, though. Was it day 4?
There's no way it takes me the second day. The second day is I'm realizing it. I would remember because I think, you know, we've all done and my son Jared just did this lately. We went to an amusement park and he rode a water ride first and he got his shoes wet. And so he had to walk around the rest of the day with wet shoes. And that was in like May and it felt good outside.
Right.
I could not imagine how this felt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because they said, the filming conditions on this and where this was at in Pennsylvania and all that stuff, as far as having like a wet shoe. And he went like calf deep.
So the funny thing is they were actually in Woodstock, Illinois, and the conditions there were even worse.
Exactly.
And they were talking about that their production was actually extended longer. We was talking about the release date earlier. Mm-hmm. That could also play a part because the weather was so bad. And one of the reasons why Harold Ramis and Bill Murray had a falling out is Bill Murray would never show up on time.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he was going through a divorce at the same time.
Going through a divorce.
Yeah, I read that.
And actually, I read also that Harold Ramis knew that, and he wanted that bitter edge to.
He got it.
He wanted it.
Yeah, if we got the perfect movie, we got the perfect movie.
Yeah.
You know, however we got it, and I hate that it ruined their friendship to get it.
Yeah.
But we got the perfect product, you know, that they made.
Absolutely.
But yes, there's no way I'm stepping in that puddle twice. Absolutely no way. Because the first day, I'm miserable. I'm not even showing up to do the news report. I'm like, no, I have to go back to the room. I've got to find new clothes. There's just absolutely no way.
I would say this in his defense. If you watch the second day, he's still unsure.
He's staggering.
He's still unsure that he's caught in it.
But I still know my location.
Yeah.
That's just me.
No, I got you.
Yeah, that's just me. That's just me. So this is the stuff. This is the heavy hitting stuff right here. So this is the stuff that I want to bring to you that you do not expect to be brought. Okay. So I was talking to one of Tia's best friends the other day. Her name's Destiny, and she was in the Navy. Husband also in the Navy. That's how they met. They met in Hawaii. But she was telling me she found out that we were doing Groundhog Day this weekend. I don't know if you've ever heard this before. This is really cool. So she sent me this email, and I'm just going to read her email word for word because I don't want to get this wrong. She said there are a few variations of how the Navy uses the movie Groundhog Day. First version, when a ship is transiting in the Pacific Ocean, they will cross the international date line. When you're headed towards Japan, you lose a day. And when you're headed towards the U.S., you gain a day. So, for example, on the way out to Japan, you go to sleep on a Monday night, you wake up on a Wednesday morning, which means one less day of deployment and very happy sailors. But on the way back towards the United States, you go to sleep on Monday night and you wake up on Monday morning, meaning you have to live the same day all over again. So on the way back, ships will sometimes play the movie Groundhog Day for an entire 24 hours on the few channels you can get on the ship. The second version is sometimes Navy deployments can be excruciatingly long and very monotonous. The ship may transit in the same pattern over and over again. It's awful for the people on board. To add some humor to the situation, they'll play Groundhog Day on repeat for 24 hours. Is that not awesome?
That is amazing.
That's the heavy hitting stuff right there.
That's amazing.
I was so glad. Like when she was telling me, I was like, Destiny, you have to email me that. Like I'm not going to just write down notes. Yeah. I want this word for word. I'm going to read this out on the pod. So, Destiny, thank you for that info. You should see Beaver smiling right now. It's so cool.
It's amazing.
So cool. So, how many days did Phil relive? How many do you think? Or you can tell me. You know some stuff. Go ahead.
So, well, the facts of it is on film we see that he lives out 38 days.
Mm-hmm. That's how many days we see on screen. 38
screen,
days. Yes,
right.
yes.
And,
just wanted to verify.
And so one thing I was holding out on you about, I'll share this in
Please.
a second.
Yeah.
So,
no.
So the original writer wanted it to be 10,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 10,000 years. Could you imagine?
It almost feels like purgatory.
And that's what a lot of, if you read about it, if you get deep on this movie, that's what a lot of people compare it to, is this was like a purgatory.
Yes.
Yeah. But 10,000 years was the original script.
It was. And Harold Ramis believed it was somewhere between, 35 and 38 years. And so here's the hard hitting stuff for you.
All right.
So what we know about Phil Connors is by the end of it, he is a professional musician.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
He's a professional ice sculptor.
Yep.
In the deleted scenes, he was a professional bowler and a professional pool player.
I love the bowler part, obviously, because of the Kingpin connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a professional gambler, because he knew all of the...
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
He also didn't he speak French?
Yes. He had learned a new language.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to leave a bunch of stuff out.
Yeah.
But according to the nerds it was like movie nerds or something that I was watching on TikTok, they said that they believed that it was somewhere between 500 to 600 years to be able to perfect all the lifetimes of all the things that he had gotten really good at.
Yeah. 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 Because, he was like in that final scene.
Yes.
When he's playing the piano.
Yes.
Ray Charles would walk off the stage embarrassed to even be on the stage with him. Right.
And by the way, a throwback to the Ferris Bueller that you did.
Yeah.
A lot of them think that Ferris Bueller had been in a time loop to perfect his day. Just
I saw that. Yes, yeah. I saw that. I saw that connection. That connection. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, but no, it's crazy to think about. So I just did simple math. So 30 years. I just did 30 years.
Yeah, it's over 10,000. Yeah, almost 11,000.
Yeah, almost 11,000 days.
Yeah,
that's doing it on the shortest route of this.
Yes,
like that's assuming it on the shortest route of this. So, and that's not even counting leap years, where you'd have some extra days. So that's 10,950 days.
Yep,
that's insane to live the same. And you can see, like, I guess when I was a kid, I had it, even though I was a kid, just like 10 years ago, if you'd have asked me how long it was, I would have thought like 30 days, 40 days. Like he relived the same day, because I was just thinking about how many we see on screen. I wasn't thinking about the fact that, man, this guy's like a professional ice sculptor.
Yeah.
This guy's the best piano player now in the world.
Right.
All those kind of things. I wasn't thinking about how good, they say it's like, the 10,000 hours to become an expert thing, like you said. So,
right.
One
of the things too, as a nod to Bill Murray, is he actually learned how to play. So when he's getting his piano lessons and that way he's playing with the lady, he actually learned how to do that. That's actually him playing. Yeah. Now when he's with the sunglasses and showing off, that's not him.
Yeah, he'll body double there. Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, that's not him.
Yeah. So it was funny. He does get slapped by Rita 10 times in the movie. I looked that one up.
He also got bit by the groundhog and required rabies shots.
Yes. And he tried to wear, now this is in real life. So Bill Murray tried to wear like these fisherman's gloves that had like steel proof.
The mesh. Yeah.
Yes. And he said that, he was talking about the groundhog's teeth are like 2-3 inches long.
Yes.
And so it would just bite through. And he found out, and I saw this on an interview with Bill Murray. He found out, he was like, who trained this animal? And they're like, well, it's a wild one. They literally had him holding a wild groundhog, not a trained groundhog. I would be livid. Like if I'm sitting there, because I don't want to hold a little mouse. I'm just being, I'm not a big rodent fan. So I don't want to hold a little mouse. Much less, the groundhogs are huge.
Well, I feel like that might
especially Punxsutawney Phil.
I feel like that might even speak to him and Harold Ramis beefing with each other, that he just gave him a wild groundhog to hold. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, if that was either revenge or a reason why, I don't know. I don't know. You could take it either way. So he did a lot of good deeds. Once he started becoming a little bit of a better person, Phil does a lot of good deeds.
He made everybody's life better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he helped that couple get married instead of her, getting the cold feet. He prevented the mayor from choking, played by his brother, Brian Doyle Murray.
Saved the little boy.
Saved the little boy from the tree, fixed the flat. Mm-hmm. I mean, all these different things that he did. And then you think about, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it brings up the one scene where he has the old man at the hospital.
Yeah, Pop. Yeah, Pop. The homeless man.
Yeah, he takes Pop into the hospital. Next time you watch it, I want you to look in the lobby. You see the little boy with the broken leg, because he was not there to save him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you pointed that out. That means I have to watch it for a 5th time this week. So thank you for that. Yes. Thank you.
Or you can just Google this.
Yeah, I'll fast forward to that scene. So one thing I wanted to hear from you was, what was the alternate ending? You mentioned that. I don't know it.
You don't know.
So I'm finding this out live. I don't know.
So again, we said Danny Rubin. I don't want to butcher.
Yeah. You're right.
So when he wrote the story, he meant for this to have a sequel.
Okay.
And so on the day that Bill Murray wakes up and he's next to Rita, and Rita looks over and sees him, she runs out of the room, and she has been living that day for years.
Oh, wow.
And the next one was supposed to be about her.
Interesting.
Too.
But that, the thing I don't like about that is he was stuck in this loop.
Yeah.
Because he was such a bad person, and he needed to become a better person. Like, the loop was intended to fix him. And I use quotations. You can't see me, but the loop was intended to fix him.
In Harold Ramis's version, it was.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know the original. Okay, that makes a difference. All right.
Yes.
All right. That's interesting. Okay.
We see that this thing created a better person, and not as a trap or a curse.
Yeah.
Like the original author intended it to be.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the way the movie is painted, is making him a better person.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with you now. All right. Yeah. So another thing I would have done, I forgot to mention this whenever I was talking about the things I would change first. I would also go a different route to avoid Ned. There's absolutely no way that I'm going to be walking that way again, knowing that Ned's going to be coming up to me. And I don't know if you heard this. The last time that they say he hugs him, and he says, I don't know what you're doing today, but if you're, if you can, call in sick. When Phil hugs Ned, that was Bill Murray improvised. Like he just told Steven Tobolowsky, I think that's his name. He just told him, hey, roll with this. We're going to do this scene. And so that's why Steven, I mean, if you look at that's authentic shock on his face, and then he just takes off running. Yeah. So look for that next time you watch it.
So one of the videos I saw about Woodstock, Illinois, is the way the town square is set up, and it's so tiny. And if you can go there today, they pay homage to the Pennsylvania Inn where he stays at, and the water hole that he steps off in. They got a plaque. This is Bill Murray stepped here.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not sure if it'd been possible to avoid Ned Ryerson. The way that he had to walk across the town square to get where he was going.
Yeah. That small of a town.
It's that small of a town.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it yourself. 5,200.
Yeah. 5,700.
Or 5,700.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah. I guess you're going to see him at some point.
Right.
If it's the biggest holiday that they have all year.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are going to see him at some point. So now let's get to the competitions within the movie.
Okay.
All right. Now you brought this one up. What article of clothing would you most likely to have from this movie? So we've got some good nominees here. We've got the Chris Elliott sweater.
It's a great one.
That Phil makes fun of. We've got the poncho that he wears after he robs the bank.
It's not just the poncho; it's Bronco's poncho.
Bronco's poncho. It's the whole outfit. The whole outfit. The whole outfit's killing it.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and then you've got you mentioned the wet shoe.
The wet shoe.
Obviously, I'm not taking that one. I just did a whole thing about the wet shoes. Or
you could put it in a case.
You could.
Just display it.
Yeah. Or the sunglasses when he's playing piano.
Yes.
What are you taking? What's What's Beaver taking home?
Well, as far as recognizable, like if I just had it in a corner, what do you think would be the most recognizable of those?
The poncho outfit, for
I
sure.
think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was the whole ensemble, the
Yes.
hat, the poncho,
Yes.
the boots,
Yes.
all that. Yes.
Yeah.
I would, and especially if you had it dressed on a mannequin in the
Right.
corner, you would know exactly what you were looking
I really liked Rita's vest too. I can't remember which day. The days get mixed up. It was like the first good date that
Yeah.
they had. But her vest was really cool in that scene. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I would say for me, you wouldn't know it was his shoe, but if you had it in a case with a
Yeah.
plaque on it,
Yeah.
then you'd be like, "Oh, I know what that is."
His top coat's also nice too.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, but it's actually nice. Like I like it.
Well,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wears that in more than one movie, or that
Interesting.
style.
Yeah.
I was noticing that he, it looks like the exact same coat he's wearing in Scrooge.
It could be. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
It looks
could
very
be.
similar. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think out of all that though, I would probably keep the sunglasses. Yeah, I'd have to tell people what they were.
Right. But easiest. To
But
keep up
yeah,
with.
but yeah, it'd be the easiest to keep up with. I could actually carry it around with me places,
Yeah.
and throw them on. They're very functional. So yeah, I think that would be it. Now this one's a fun one. Okay, this one's a very fun one. Turn my life around movies with a fantasy element.
Okay.
So they're not just like, most movies have a hero's journey. Whether it's the person becoming a better person by the end of it. Or it could be like a literal action hero movie, whatever, what have you. But this was one of those where it's the turn my life around movie with a fantasy element, him stuck in the time loop. So we've got Groundhog Day, obviously. You got It's a Wonderful Life. The Christmas classic.
Yep.
I know it's Jimmy Stewart. I'm drawing blank on the character's name, but it's a Jimmy Stewart movie,
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. But either way, it doesn't matter. So we've got Groundhog Day, It's a Wonderful Life, Liar Liar,
Liar's a good one.
where you can't lie for a day, because he's been lying to his son so much, and his son just wishes that he couldn't lie for a day.
I got one I didn't tell you.
Okay, that's good. Christmas Carol,
Christmas Carol.
yeah, which would involve Scrooged. I would put them in the same category.
Especially being a Bill Murray movie that we're talking about. Scrooge
Yes.
has to be included.
Yes. Oh yeah. Scrooge is definitely there. Christmas Carol, I put them in the same category. You brought up a couple of really good ones. Click, which
Click
is
a good one.
a very underrated Adam Sandler performance.
Absolutely.
I mean, he does some really good acting in
Oh
Click.
yeah, you'll get some crocodile
Yeah.
tears in that.
Yeah.
one, for sure.
Yeah, especially watching it as a parent.
Yes.
And being mindful of like rushing through life and all those kind of things. Family Man, the Nicolas Cage one, which has become like a Christmas watch for me every year. Does need a little bit of editing,
Yes.
but it has become a Christmas watch for me every year. Tia brought this one up. I didn't think Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal's a great one.
I didn't like, and when she first said it, I was like, no, I don't think so. Then the more it sunk in, I was like, yeah, no, actually, that is 100% fits what I'm talking about here.
Yes.
But you have another one.
I have two,
Oh,
which are
bring
in
it.
the same vein.
Bring it.
Bruce Almighty and
Mhm.
Evan Almighty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Bruce Almighty's great. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But if I was picking one of those, as far as my favorite, I mean, I kind of have to go Groundhog Day, not just because we're doing it, but I think it's the actual best movie of what we're talking about. Now, Christmas Carol's way up there because it's one of the best. There's a reason why Christmas Carol's been done 20 times,
Yes.
even more than that. Like it's one of the best Christmas stories that gets told.
Well, it's Dickens.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But what about you? What's your favorite out of that list?
So Groundhog is obviously number one, and not because I'm a big Bill Murray guy. I just love Scrooge. I love that movie every time it comes on. And Bobcat Goldthwait's character.
Oh, he's so good in that.
It's so great.
Yeah. No, I know. You're a huge Scrooge guy. I think I've told you before. Like he gets beat up so much in that movie in Scrooged.
But he's that guy. It's
He
that
is
cringe comedy.
It is, and that one cringes me too much. I mean, I love the movie. I've watched it. It's just not an every year watch for me.
I like my favorite part about the Scrooge movie is the revelation his brother gets about him.
Yeah.
And And not to get all deep in anything,
Sure.
but one of the hardest things in life is to feel misunderstood.
Sure.
And so it's kind of that moment of being understood, and he gets to see that private moment he would have never got to see. So
yeah, no, Scrooge has, I mean, and all of these movies do.
yes,
like they all have that.
Yes,
I realize how bad I've been.
Sure.
And
Yes.
I've got to turn my life around. And I mean, and then you can start getting super spiritual with all that kind of stuff too, which is, but let's talk about the gorging table.
Okay.
The gorging table.
Yes.
So I listed out not every food that was on the table,
Right.
but everything that I could see that was on the table.
Yes.
So there was eggs.
Yes.
There was bacon.
Yes.
There were muffins, toast, donuts, cupcakes, pancakes, pudding, cereal, a milkshake, coffee straight from what is it called? The carafe?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, just drinking it straight from it. I don't know how that wouldn't burn your tongue. Like I was wondering that, when he's drinking it straight.
Well, it might not be that hot.
Yeah. He's smoking while he's sitting there. And then also he like shoves a full piece of cake in his mouth that's an awesome gorging table.
Yes. So do you know how many times it took that scene to be shot?
I know it made him sick because he refused a spitting bucket.
Right. So I don't know the exact amount of times. It was close to a handful of times at least. I do.
All it would take would be 3 times, and you're sick.
Well, he was eating all that in real time.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
And the piece of cake.
Right.
I mean, the piece of cake alone. But yeah. So my question that brings up, like, how did that enter the competitions? What would make your table? Like, if you were picking your foods that would be on your table, what would be there for you?
So it's funny you bring this up. When we go to Virginia on vacations, there's a place called Captain George's.
Yeah.
That is an all-you-can-eat seafood place.
Yeah.
And my table is, so they have 9 buffet lines that you can build. And it's seafood that's really good that you would never just order because you don't know what it is.
Yeah. That's actually my problem a lot of times on a menu anyways. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I'll just take the chicken. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can go there and I do realize as a Christian man that gluttony is a sin.
Sure.
I've had to repent every time I've went to that place. And I'll tell you, it's a pile of shrimp. It's a pile of crab legs. It's all the different soups and everything. I've literally sat in front of 9 plates of food that were mounded and walked away with 9 empty plates.
Nice.
And so,
nice. So you've had the Phil Connor moment.
It's the Phil Connor seafood version.
That is great. Yeah. See, I would be, and this is, I would have like tacos sitting over here. I would have cheeseburgers sitting over here. I would definitely have some like chips and salsa. Like, I mean, a majority would be Mexican food. Like that would be the majority of my table would just be covered with Mexican food. Yeah. But again, cheeseburgers would definitely, French fries, not just French fries, but like loaded down with chili and cheese. If I knew tomorrow, there's no repercussions. Yeah. Like I don't have to worry about it. I'm eating all of that. And that's probably what I'm doing every single day. I would never have mastered.
Yeah.
I would never have mastered the piano. I'd be like, another day to eat,
When we used to do this trip up there quite often before our kids were born, and my wife would just bring her knitting.
Yeah.
And she'd just be like, let me know.
Yeah. She just knit while you're eating? Yes. That's hilarious. Yes. That's hilarious. So the best at movie sarcasm or the best at entertainment sarcasm, because not all these guys, what I would consider like their sarcastic characters weren't always in movies. So this is a great list. Bill Murray, obviously. Why would I bring it up?
100%.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
Matthew Perry.
Yes.
Chandler brought some of the best sarcasm on Friends that we've ever heard.
That's right.
David Spade.
Yes.
Like, just oozes sarcasm.
Yes.
Jason Sudeikis. Fantastic at sarcasm.
Yes.
John Krasinski as Jim in The Office. Like, one of the I guess you'd call it the kindest sarcasm that you could have on there.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you had to pick your favorite at entertainment sarcasm, we're calling it entertainment because not all those were like movie characters, but your favorite at entertainment sarcasm.
Well, I will say this. In my opinion, and obviously Bill Murray's had some great characters
Sure.
with that. But I'm not going to pick him. I like the fact that the real sarcasm is it may hit you an hour later.
Sure.
You may dawn on you. Wait, what
Sure.
did he say to me?
Yeah, that's the Seinfeld sarcasm.
It's
yeah.
Seinfeld and the John Krasinski.
Yes.
So I will go with John Krasinski.
Nice. Good choice. Good. I'm going Matthew Perry as Chandler.
Yes.
His is so.
But unless you're Joey Tribbiani, it don't dawn on you later.
Yeah. His is very in your face. Yes. It's very in your face. Yes. But like the other day, I was watching an episode and they said something about like, guess what? He's like, oh, the other dentist cave, and now they're all recommending Colgate or whatever it was, instead of like 4 out of 5 now.
Yes.
So I mean, it was just
that's great.
He's so good at it, and he was so good at it. But yeah, so I would probably go with Matthew Perry there, but I would take any of these guys. All of these guys, phenomenal. All right, favorite scene. So I've got a few listed out here. The first Groundhog Day when Phil is rude to everybody. Like, that's just a great scene. It's just it's setting up the movie. I mean, it is the movie setup, but it's hilarious when he's, it's mean, but when he's mean to the guy that he called pork chop, when he's mean to the lady that owns the bed and breakfast, just all of that day is just hilarious. When he's running from the cops, when he's with, I don't remember the two characters' names.
Barney is one of them.
Yeah. And wasn't he in The Burbs?
I think
with Tom Hanks?
He definitely was.
Yes. And so like when he's with those guys, and so when he's running from the cops, the breakfast where he gorges himself, I think is hilarious. The second snow fight.
Yes.
You remember when
he's faking it?
Yes. When they had like the first one that actually went really well.
Right.
And then the second night he's trying to recreate that magic. And that is cringy
with the fake fall.
Yes, he's like falling next to her and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and then I just love the moment when Larry is won at the auction for 25 cents.
That's a great scene.
Yeah. So out of those, what would you say?
So I even have it's in one of those, but it's more specific. to the line.
Yeah. Go with it.
It's where they're at the bar and it's dawning on him. He asked Barney and the guys, and he's like, what do you do when you feel stuck? And the one guy says, well, that sums it up for me. And then they all get drunk, and then and they try to go out to the car, and then one guy, he's like, I can't drive, you drive, I can't drive. And then Phil is having this revelation of a life with no consequences.
Yeah.
So he's playing it all out loud. He's thinking out loud, and then he says, and Mom always said, don't drive on the railroad tracks. And, and then they're driving down and they're bumping, and he's trying to talk through it. Is one of my favorite scenes. And the scene where he's freezing and it's snowing.
That's what it made me think of when you were saying that. Yeah, I love that too.
And he's like, oh, yeah, the weather.
Yeah.
So those two scenes are probably it.
Well, I think when the guy asked him, you can either freeze to death or you can head back to Punxsutawney. And his face, when he's like you can see there's serious contemplation. Like, I might just let myself freeze to death. Like that. I mean, and that shows just how bad of a person he was. Like, how did you not enjoy those people?
And not a knock on my dad, but that so much reminds me.
But I'm just talking about like enjoying. Yeah, it does. But enjoying the people. Like, they were such sweet people. Like, when I woke up from that bed and breakfast, and I greeted, and then the lady downstairs, and everybo's so nice. I mean, you want to think like, oh man, I would be loving this place. Like, I'd be thinking like, should I move here? Like, is this where I should live?
Yes.
This is where I should raise my family. But so kind of going with that. So your favorite scene was that. Mine, gosh, I think it has to be the second snow fight. Like, I think it's so funny when he's like, oh, look at these kids. He just like, it is so awkward. Like, and it's just, he's throwing the snowballs at him, but he's actually mad. Like, you can see the anger, and it's so well acted by Bill Murray. Like, to do the same scene 2 different ways.
Yes.
So good. So good.
And honorable mention, him showing up as Bronco is one of my favorite.
Oh, it's funny. Well, and he's at my old fiance, All right. So best quote. You have, I've got it written down for you. Don't worry. So the first one you said was anything different is good. No. That was mine. I'm sorry.
That's yours.
Yeah. Anything different is good. So when he wakes up, that's at the end of the movie when he wakes up and she's like, what something's different. He's like, anything different is good.
Yes.
Yours was, what if there's no tomorrow? There wasn't one today.
Yeah, that's the very first day that he had.
Yeah.
And it's also too like, and it just as a hat off to Bill Murray is like, I don't know if that line was scripted, but even the pitch in his voice, is the way
Yeah.
he says it,
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like he's surprised he's saying it too.
His deliveries.
Yes.
And that's the thing with anybody in comedy. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
100%.
Yeah. And so here's another one. They're Hicks, Rita. I love that. When it's like, all these people are enjoying this stuff. Well, they're Hicks, Rita. And that was, we talked about, like, it's less great quotes as it is his reactions off what somebody else has said.
Yeah.
And
I think it's in that same conversation that he mentions the fact that they used to eat the groundhog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't drive angry. When he's talking to the groundhog. And then I had to put in Bing from Ned.
Yes.
Bing. And honorable mention for him too. Am I right or am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Like that whole thing. It's like, oh my gosh. But I think here's the winner for me. So just yesterday, my dad had like a photo shoot where he was, being pictured for the company that I work for, and we were taking pictures of him and all the stuff. And all I kept thinking was keep the talent happy. Like that's all I could think of. So yeah, when we were doing that photo shoot and I was having Dad, set up in a sport coat, and I'd make sure like, okay, let me take him a water, let me make sure he's good, let me make sure he feels good, all that stuff. I just kept thinking keep the talent happy. So that's what I thought. And then Chris Elliott follows it up with
prima donna.
Yes.
How many times does he say that?
Yeah. Well, and he even said, like, did he just call himself the talent?
Yes.
So yeah, for me, it's keep the talent happy. What is it for you?
Yeah, it's definitely. What if there's no tomorrow?
Yeah,
there's not today.
Yeah.
And again,
that's the poignant one.
The delivery of it, the delivery of it. Or an honorable mention, I already said it too, was the guy that said, "That sums it up for me."
Yeah. There's some good ones. All right, so a couple more competitions, and then a couple of hard hitting questions. So this is the one I've actually been kind of the most excited to get to. Other people considered for the role. All right.
Okay.
Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Chevy Chase.
Yep.
Steve Martin. Robin Williams.
Yep.
John Travolta. Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Those were the 6 that were also in the running, like the main guys that made it to the final where they were like, we might, reach out to these guys, whatever. So this is what I thought would be fun. Instead of saying, oh, well, let's pick this guy. He could have played it just as well. That's kind of easy. That's taking the easy way out. We're going to take the hard way out, which means you have to swap them with each other and put Bill Murray in the same movie that guy did in 93. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, in the same year.
In the same year. So I've got the list for you. Okay. That's what I'm here for.
All right.
So Tom Hanks in that same year did Philadelphia.
Okay.
So that would be putting Bill Murray in Philadelphia, Tom Hanks in Groundhog Day.
Not happening.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. John Travolta did Look Who's Talking Now. The one with the dogs.
Interesting. Yep, the second one.
Yes. I just don't see Bill Murray playing that part.
It's closer than Philadelphia.
It's closer than Philadelphia. Robin Williams did Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
So now we're getting somewhere.
Definitely can see that.
Yes. Steve Martin did. Now, I've actually never seen this one. I remember it being around. It's called A Simple Twist of Fate. And I think it's where he ends up like adopting a little girl or something like that. It's one of the brown hair Steve Martin roles. Yeah, where he dyed his hair because he was like gray headed since the like the 70s. So I can't really speak much to that one. Chevy Chase was in Last Action Hero in a cameo. So I think he was like playing himself. So that was his.
That.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. So, but I think it was a cameo. So that kind of rules that one out. And the reason I went the order that I did was because this is what I think is the winner. Michael Keaton did the movie My Life. Have you ever seen that one?
Man, I don't remember much about it, but yes,
it's the one where it's a very sad movie.
Yes.
He's dying.
Yeah,
and he's like making a video for his unborn child.
Yes,
and so that way he could still kind of raise his child as the movie goes on. I think Bill Murray needed a part like that.
Yes, he actually did one later on.
He did, but his dramatic parts were always still a little bit spicy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I would have loved to have seen him in a movie where he just played like a dad
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he ever did a movie,
No.
or he hasn't yet, where he was just like that neighbor next door. And that's what Michael Keaton was in my life. And I think Michael Keaton could have done Groundhog Day all day long. So for me, now I'm not trying to hijack the competition here. For me, Michael Keaton is the clear winner. Like, I think Bill Murray it would be great to have that one movie on his resume where he's like the normal guy.
Yeah. It's Mrs. Doubtfire for me, for sure.
Okay.
But
I just can't, I can't picture Bill Murray as a woman.
I will tell you where my mind went.
Yeah. Okay.
The Jerk.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Bill Murray as
like
the Jerk
swapping him.
would have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. He could have easily played the Jerk.
So with that being said, Steve Martin was actually the main guy they wanted.
And he could play this really well.
Well,
no.
But he was not sinister enough.
I think he could have been, because if you look at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he was the straight guy, angry guy the whole time.
He definitely was.
Yeah.
But they wanted, again, going back to what Harold Ramis said, is like they had this balance of scales of, it was so dark that they felt like they overcorrected with how light and comedy it was, and they needed to balance that out, and they just didn't think that Steve Martin, they thought he added to the light.
I got you.
Yes, that's why they didn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with Michael Keaton. You're going to go with Robin Williams?
No.
With Mrs. Doubtfire?
Well, yes.
Yeah. If we go year for year, you're going. If you had your world upon world, you'd go with Steve Martin.
Yes,
correct. That's fair.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Robin Williams, we know what a great actor he was.
Oh, yeah.
He could have played anything.
Yes.
So,
yeah. All right. So now that was the last true competition. Now we're at the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And I know most would expect us to do a Bill Murray Mount Rushmore. And I just don't feel like my heart was there yet, because that one's too hard to do.
Very hard to do.
Yeah. So what we're doing instead is at SNL, Saturday Night Live, 70s, 80s Mount Rushmore. So like the alums that started at some point in the 70s and 80s. So who would make your Mount Rushmore? So I've got a list here.
Okay.
Mike Myers started in 89.
I did not consider him to be 89.
I don't ever want to make this easy.
Okay.
Mike Myers, Kevin Nealon.
Okay.
Phil Hartman.
Mm.
Oh. Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
John Lovitz.
And as great as all of those are, none of those made my list.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Keep going.
Yeah. Randy Quaid. And I'm talking do you want to go full career or while they were on Saturday Night Live? What do you want to do there? I'll follow your lead.
I think you have to. I think both, but both of them need to have some weight to them.
Yeah. Okay. Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Martin Short, Billy Crystal, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
So, fun fact about Billy Crystal is he was supposed to be on the original cast.
Oh, was he really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And he didn't make the cut that night. He was there that night to do on the first, and he didn't make the cut.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I've got a couple Billy Crystal movies.
I love Billy Crystal.
Yeah. City Slickers is on the list. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. Like that. That is a loaded list to only be able to pick four.
The last five you said is my four.
Okay.
Outside Belushi.
Well, you can't say the last five are my four.
No. Out of the last five is the four.
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
So it's Dan Aykroyd, it's Bill Murray, it's Chevy Chase, it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. So for me, it's Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, Eddie Murphy. And then if we're going overall career, I don't know how you leave Robert Downey Jr. out because he's ridiculous. But if we're going at that time, in their time I'm going Mike Myers. He was so good. I'm leaving Dan Aykroyd out, and I'm trading Dan Aykroyd for Mike Myers.
So here is
Wayne's World, Shrek, Austin Powers, all those. I can't.
I understand.
Yeah.
I would put Dan Aykroyd.
I love Dan Aykroyd.
Above and beyond. But
everybody that's on this list, I loved. Like Randy Quaid in Christmas Vacation. I mean, one role alone.
I agree. But here is my stand apart from that.
Mm-hmm.
Is my four has a greatest hits on SNL. They have their own greatest hits of that, and they have their greatest hits as a movie star actor.
Mike Myers has the greatest hits on SNL.
He's one of the few. I think Dana Carvey does too.
Yeah. But no, I mean, and I don't think you could go wrong with any of them, right? I mean, that's why they even made this list.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even leaving out a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, that was like cutting it down. That's leaving out like Anthony Michael Hall and Gilda Radner and all these people that were great on Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
The thing for them, most of the ones I left out, their careers afterwards weren't as stellar.
Correct.
So that's why. And man, it's hard to leave Julia Louis-Dreyfus out of the Mount Rushmore because she's so good on Seinfeld.
She is.
But anyway, all right. So that's our Mount Rushmores for this episode. 2 major questions from this movie.
Okay.
2 major questions. So everything gets solved. He figures it out. He becomes a really good person, right? And so that's when the next day happens. The day before that next day, though, he signed up for some insurance. He signed up for whole life, term, Uniflex, fire, theft, auto, dental, health, with the optional death and dismemberment plan, and water damage. He signed up for all of that. Bing! The day before it went to the next day.
Yes.
Before it actually went to February 3rd. So I reached out to a good friend of mine who's also an insurance agent. And was like, how much would all of this cost? Don't run, just give me a roundabout. In today's numbers,
yeah,
that would be about signing up for about $1,200 worth of insurance a month.
Yeah.
Is that not insane?
I would even have thought a little higher than that.
Yeah, I think he was giving me like the
low ball.
Yeah. So if you need a good need a good agent, I know a good agent. So you can reach out to me. But yeah, my guy's good. But yes, that was what I was quoted on that. So $1,200 a month is what he was signing up for in today's, which I think would have been around $300 or $400 a month in '93.
Correct.
He was on the hook for that because that was the day, he probably thought like, well, I'll sign up for all this. Sure, I'll make Ned's day. And then the next day. So if you're Phil, do you pay those premiums or do you say, you know what? Actually, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, I actually think this. If you remember, he said, let's just move here. So he was going to move there.
Yeah.
And he's the most popular guy in town.
Yeah.
He has got all that on his side. So as far as coming up with money or gigs or anything like that, I think he'd have been all right.
But Ned's a salesman.
Yeah.
So you think he would have stuck with it? He would have done the $1,200 a month.
I think so.
He'd have stuck to his word.
I think
he was that good of a person.
I think he became that good of a person. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he decided he wanted to be a plus person and add to everybody's life. And I think that at that point, he got rid of the ego and all the selfishness. So, yeah, I don't think he would have turned back on that because I think he would have realized what it had produced.
Sure. And that kind of answers the next question. So that was the main question. The second one is, how did he break the loop?
Yes.
And so, like, what are you saying about how he broke the loop?
So, being the person that makes everybody's life better. And I believe that is what Ramis was going for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the theory about him selling his soul. Have you heard that?
No, I have not heard that.
So there's a fan theory that the day that he met Stephen Tobolski, Ned.
Yeah, Ned. Okay. Yeah.
That Ned is actually the devil.
Oh, gosh.
And that when he rejected Ned, what did Ned say to him? As soon as that, watch the first step. It's a doozy. And that tracked him in the time loop. And then when he signed on the line and bought the life insurance.
Wow.
That he got out of the loop, but he sold his soul. That's how dark that is.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
So, yeah, I can't believe you never heard that. I've heard that for years, and which I don't know if I would agree with it or not. It really paints a dark picture to a light and bright movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's light and bright, but like we said, it does have a lot of dark moments.
It does.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
But wow, no, I've never heard that one. Never heard that one. One thing we didn't cover well enough was the town of Punxsutawney. They do this, and they've been doing this since 1887, like formally. Like they started formally doing this since 1887. Now, unfortunately for them, the Groundhog's percentages are usually pretty low as far as getting it right, whether there's 6 weeks left of winter or if we're going to have an early spring.
Yeah.
But
also, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there's very few sunlight in February in Pennsylvania. It's always overcast.
That's funny. So he's not going to see much of a shadow. And they do it at 7:20 a.m.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, Beaver, is there anything else that you can think of that we forgot to cover? This has been a ton of fun.
I mean, I'll call you later. I'm sure there'll be something.
Oh, there's every time, right when I turn this off, I promise you, every time there's something where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have said that. Because these movies that we're doing are so much fun to talk about. Like every single movie that we've covered, so much fun. So just as a reminder, the email address is themoviepick@aol.com. If you're listening to it right now, it's only on Spotify, but that may change. This sounds crazy, but hit that like, hit that follow. That really helps me out in the algorithms. But again, the email address, themoviepick@aol.com. Beaver, thank you so much for all the prep work. Thank you for being on here. For me, this has been a ton of fun. I hope you've had fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.